anyone like to make any statement from citizens on tonight's agenda? I don't see anybody really, but you two. Everybody else here's got an agenda to be on.
We can come up with one. We could probably come up with one.
It wouldn't take but a minute. Alright. We'll move forward into budget work session. I think we're gonna start off with, I don't really have them broke out. Library, is that right?
Sure.
Where's Kelsey? Shelley.
She's not tonight, she's the next one. It
Oh,
was supposed to be,
Okay.
is Cody coming? Probate's not coming?
Alright.
They have requested.
Go ahead if you wanna step up.
Okay.
This is about as informal as you get right here.
Okay,
This
well,
is
good.
just-
I wasn't sure what to.
It's a work session, we're just gonna talk
Okay,
freely.
cool. So we had sent a budget request back in June for a 3.59% increase in our budget. A living wage for library staff and, bringing our part-time people to $9 an hour. And bringing my salary closer in line with the senior center and rec department. So these increases would bring our pay scale closer to nearby county-funded community resources, as I mentioned, the senior center and the recreation department. Those places are not completely free to users while the library is. We serve the general public of all ages and abilities. We collect donations for other organizations in the county, the senior center prizes for their bingo games, the food bank, food and hygiene items, the animal shelter, all the items that they need. The recreation department visited last week because their copier was broken, and so they needed to come use ours. We're a resource for other organizations in the county as well as residents.
All the way back.
Also, on the subject of the living wage increase, I became manager in 2016. My starting salary was $33,500. I was still a single mother, and my kids are eligible for reduced lunch. And I make more than everybody in the building. I recently lost a part-time staff to a full-time job at UGA. She makes as much as I do now. A full-time technology specialist quit to work at a movie theater because he makes more money in a movie theater than he does at the library. I have a second job. The other two full-time staff have second jobs. Some of our part-time staff have second jobs, some of them are retired, and we're just their fun time. And it is a fun time. I have one full-time and one part-time staff in grad school for library science. That's how much they love it. I would like for everybody to get paid something closer to what they're worth. I have a few stories just to talk about the impact that we have. We have an 85-year-old patron named Mary who comes in every day to use the internet. We are her social and physical infrastructure. She comes and she talks to us about the storms in Tennessee. Her sister's house got flooded, and we asked about that. And she came to us after Tropical Storm Fred when her electricity was out and she needed to charge her cell phone. She's one of those people that if she's not there for 2 or 3 days in a row, I'm gonna find out if she's okay. And she's not the only person that uses us like that. We have continued to attempt programming during the pandemic as best as we could. We have take and make kits for kids, and Carly, our children's specialist, started a family book club with age-appropriate books for families to read and discuss together and have activities, and we've got lots of positive comments on that from the parents. We also deal with people in crisis for different reasons. I mean, we deal with sensitive information from patrons. We treat these with respect and confidentiality, such as printing divorce papers or helping to scan and fax death certificates, the things that people have to do after there's been a crisis in their lives, getting the paperwork to the correct state agencies. These are the kind of things that staff are doing with empathy and sensitivity, and they start at $8 an hour. That's less than Burger King pays. Library users of the county save money by borrowing materials instead of paying for them, so we're definitely a financial resource for the county residents, and, I just hope that we will be considered as such.
A couple questions I have.
Sure.
What does Athens Regional subsidize for you all?
Subsidized?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
also forgot to introduce my Athens Regional representatives.
Okay.
Assistant Director Toby Mayfield is my direct supervisor, and Valerie Bell is the director, executive director of the Athens Regional Library System, so I don't know the answer to that question.
The answer is that, should I come up?
Sure, it doesn't
Can
matter.
you hear me from here? The answer is that the regional library system is a support mechanism behind all of the libraries in the region. So they do all of the cataloging, the ordering of books, the IT specialists, we do the grants that are coming out, we do the human resources portion of any one of our branches, and we also do publicity for the branches if they need it.
So we are
There's
the
a
sole-
series of things that happen.
Thank you. So we're the sole mechanism for salaries, is the Board of Commissioners.
I believe that's correct.
Insurance and benefits.
I think that comes from,
All your county employees.
This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all are really not county
Yeah.
employees.
I've heard conflicting information on that.
Yeah, because Kathy, you can help me, but I think we had talked about this, you technically wasn't county employees, even though we subsidize a lot of this, financial, but you don't actually work for Madison County. And somebody has to have this answer, and I don't know who that is.
Right.
Your paycheck is issued,
The paycheck is issued through the Athens Regional Library System. That's part of our service to the regional branches, through the business office, but it comes from the budget that you all submit.
And part of that budget is $16,000, what do you call it? It's a $16,000
Listed as regional share.
regional share, yes, where we pay that much for them to do all of that stuff. And yes, all of the money that they get for benefits and salaries come from
Us.
yes.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to clarify, so
Yes.
where the partnership ends and begins.
Yeah, we depend on them for a lot of resources. Like she said, IT, we have a computer specialist, but we don't have an IT guru. You know, it's a group that handles all of the website development and the server problems and the hardware problems and stuff. We get a lot of that from them.
The Pines maintenance.
And there's a transfer of books between between libraries. That's handled by a courier from the
That's
region. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things that we do get from them, but our budget is given to them, and they handle our human resources and our paychecks and all that stuff. And they're the intermediary to the state too, because there's all of this goes into the TRS system.
You'll notice on the budget, you did request the 221.
Yes.
And it says per pod, TH, mini me. This is why it didn't get increased, and the reason I didn't increase it was because I wasn't sure that we were supposed to increase it. And that's why I'm trying to get some clarity on this. So Madison County is not the only county that operates like this. This is what all the surrounding counties do, that has the Athens Regional Library.
Right.
Yes.
Kathy, do they fall under our HR? They fall under Athens Regional. So we technically are a contract service. Is that what I'm gathering? We pay a certain dollar amount for a contract service of staff. But then I don't understand how the benefits work through us, because that's not contractual neither. We don't pay benefits?
Yeah, that'd be right.
The benefits do come out of the budget, yes.
Yeah.
The benefits come out of the budget.
The budget goes there with one number, and then they separate the benefits and all of that through the region.
Benefits all come through the library system, not through Madison County.
Right,
No, the benefits come through Madison County. The money for the benefits comes through Madison County.
right, and then they separate it into salary and benefits,
Right.
distributed to the state.
So my question is, the request, so this would be $7,668.71
Mhm.
additional.
Mhm.
Would it also be increased by the benefit?
No, that's
No,
not.
No,
that's the whole
included.
thing including
That's,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's $1 amount, yeah.
Okay, that's,
That is the flat.
there's not any additional, because I know sometimes when we increase salary, we gotta leave.
No.
All right?
Which raises another question. So when you were talking about your pay a minute ago for the employees and what they make, how do you align with other counties?
How,
I mean, is every county paying in a different amount?
yes.
Yes, yes,
Depending
every
on what their
county
county
pays
is.
what they can afford and what their board elects to give them. Some counties have cities that are part of their revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we went up from $8 to $8.50, you know, and we put that into the budget.
We haven't
To go.
done that.
I thought we
We
did.
started $8.
Oh, really? I thought we went to.
So this would actually be $1 raise for,
First starting,
Okay.
yeah, and it would bring all part-time staff to at least $9 an hour. Nobody that's part-time makes $9
so they're
an hour.
currently making $8 is what you.
Or 8 something, yeah.
8 something.
Mhm. If they're brand new, they start at 8, but as of right now.
Kathy, are you clear on that now? Because after sitting and talking with Kathy, we felt like that we didn't control y'all's raises, is why we didn't do this.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to get over into the extension office, but it's a lot like them. There's a supplement amount that we pay into it, and they're bad about, they'll get raises on their end, but we have to match it. With some of the benefits on our end, so every time the teachers
Right.
union kind of thing on the extension offices, if they give a raise, it costs us money.
Okay,
So I was making sure,
Now,
Yeah,
some
I
of
don't
the
think it's like
some of the
that.
counties have multiple sources for income, the county and another resource there. You know, like a city or a Board of Education or something like that. We used to have county and Board of Education, and about 15 years ago, it all joined into one.
does the Board of Education give you a supplement? It's
No.
just
it's just
solely
the
county.
county, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh?
Yeah, I think that's.
Kathy, I'm not, and I'm confident, I'm not looking at this right, on our budget sheet, we got requests, the 22 requests is 213. This sheet from the library is 239, that's way more than $7,600 difference.
Which,
Look at the revenue sheet at the top.
Yeah.
They do get some fees from,
yes, we get,
they get some revenue generated at the top.
Okay.
from fines and fees.
So that
For
213
faxing.
is just the commissioners.
That's just for,
BOC.
yes, yes,
Right.
the first line item, Madison County Board of Commissioners,
Gotcha.
is what the request,
I'm
yeah,
with you there.
yes.
We'll actually be responsible for 221,086 if we choose to make that. Just for clarification, because obviously we didn't know,
Mhm.
if you could email me or Kathy, you probably got our email, don't you?
I do.
A copy of that contract, not disputing it, I just like for us to have one on file, because it's really not good if the chairman nor the financial person understands how we're paying bills. So it's probably better to have a copy of that somewhere that we can file away. I greatly appreciate it. It may have been entered into in 1980, who knows?
Yeah, I think that's partially because of the longevity on the board for me, and then, whenever we changed over through all of that, you know, we just knew how it was working or whatever. So yeah, that's probably something good to have to bring everybody up on the same page.
A copy of the contract between Athens Regional and
Madison
Who,
County.
Madison County.
wherever wherever we write the check to for the salaries, that person needs something in writing back to me saying what we pay for and how it's paid out. Because if we get audited for any reason, the auditor's gonna say, where's your agreement for that?
Okay,
I don't know how, it hasn't been brought up yet, but thank God it hasn't, but we're gonna be fine. It's all good. And thank you, ma'am. Does anybody have any questions?
Is there some sort of structured guideline for the salaries that are all with, so this is not just us, it's all the counties around, so is there a salary structure based on something?
the salary structure that I've been working on has been with Athens Clark County, who also, is, looking to increase their salary payment. So that's the structure that I have, and the minimum, right now, the minimum, starting salary there is $10 an hour. And that's looking to get raised up over, I mean, I could do something like that for you too. In Athens Clark County, they wanted us to figure out a way to bring the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. So I'm working on that over a 3-year period.
It'll have to be a joint partnership of many people.
Yeah. Well,
And we, at the Board of Trustees meeting 2 weeks ago, we approached that subject, and Ms. Valerie said, we're working on that and everything, you know, so it's not something that's, you know, completely out in space, nobody's paying attention to it. We've as the board meeting, that was one of the points on the agenda, was to bring that up, and then Valerie said that, Ms. Val said that, yeah, we don't have to worry about that because she's working on something. Because I was ready to start a committee.
Chris, can you do me a favor? On my desk, there's a budget that's in color down the right-hand side. It's on my desk, it's on that table. Let me see that right fast.
Yes, sir.
I can say though, I have looked, I've only been the director since 2015, and I've looked and I can't find an agreement between the two parties. Now, we can have, we can either draw one up, which would be a good deal, or we can give you the information that you're requesting.
I have to have a legal binding document before I can hand over money. And granted, I'm not disputing the fact that you're gonna be out of the job, that's not it.
Yeah.
Okay, I need something that says why I'm giving you the money and what I'm giving it to you for.
Okay,
And for my audit purposes.
okay.
When does,
Thank you, this is it.
Yes.
this is your next year's budget, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2022.
The reason I asked for this particular one right here, this is the budget I used last year, and it goes back to 2018. And you were 89, correct? So you, in 18, you were budgeted 207,000.
Sounds right.
And that ran into 2019, was budgeted 210,000. And then 2020, you went to 213, so it looks like there's a raise here every year, at least back to 18. 18, 19, and 20, there was a raise given.
And part of that was, the state mandated increase for teacher retirements. Yeah. So those were probably what you saw in
So
that.
we follow that too.
Yeah.
See, that's what we were talking about a minute ago. Every time the state does something, and I don't understand it, how they would mandate that for y'all and then us be paying the salary for it. That's where it gets convoluted.
Yeah.
Help me out, Derek. I know you got an answer.
Well, I mean, I think the way they're looking at it is that, and forgive me if I'm overstepping, but my thought process anyway is, you know, this is a resource, a collective resource that, you know, we've agreed to put in our community, and the agreement is that we pay for it, basically with the salary and taxes. You know, the option is, again, going back to the contractual obligation, if we say we're not gonna pay for it, then they shut their doors and they say, you know, Madison County is no longer part of the
Sure, I mean, yeah.
And
And I
so,
don't wanna do that.
and I'm
No,
not suggesting that, I'm just saying that, that's that contract of services. I mean, and as we bought into the library system, and can you remind me how many libraries are in the Athens Regional Library System?
11.
11. All right, so that's all 11, or I say all 11, so that's, that's the formula, is, hey, the library system in the state of Georgia says this is what we'll do if you'll participate, and somewhere, I'm sure there's,
It's gotta be written down.
it's written down somewhere whether we got it
Is
or
that
not.
just an
And I think it's sort of like what Todd, we probably do need to probably look at maybe getting, well, finding out why the Board of Education is not involved with this at all anymore. I'm sure there's probably some history that goes back on that, but maybe we can find that out. But, my feelings is that, yeah, we probably need something in writing, but I think we can get that worked out before January.
Oh, yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
so,
But that is, let me ask this question, can you research and let us know what other 11 of your libraries have Board of Education support as a funding part?
Yes. We can probably think of it now, but I'll double check and look at the actual numbers so that I'm giving you the correct number. Some do have, Board of Education, support, some do not.
and some have, like Athens, I mean, it has city and county support, is that?
Just county.
Just county.
Well, Athens.
Yeah, let's use
Unified
five.
government,
Yeah,
so
that would make it.
it's-
So, do they, I guess just asking, do they have other support from other entities though, other than just the county?
The support that's used for Athens, Clark County, for some staff in Athens, Clark County, is the state support you were talking about. My salary is paid through the state.
Okay.
Some people are partially on Athens, Clark County payroll and partially on the state payroll. And that depends on what it is that they do. For instance, our HR manager, actually, she's an assistant director, she's fully on the state paid for. Our IT person, the chief information officer, IT person, is split between Athens, Clark County, and the state. And the reason why we tried to do it that way is because I think that's the fairest way to do it for all counties, so that Athens, Clark County is not responsible for that entire salary. But we're not gonna give that salary to any of the counties, we're putting that over on the state. So the business office manager, the person in charge of collections, not everybody though. Not everybody can fit on the state salary. So some of it still is coming out of,
So
the Athens.
those that serve as a majority, I'll say management role over the 11,
Mhm.
or provide support services for the 11, is the state funding group.
Yes.
And other beyond that, it's kind of individually based.
Yes,
And so those 11, just so I can understand it, those 11 libraries, there's Madison County, obviously Clark County,
Oglethorpe, Oconee, and Franklin, the 5 counties in the region.
and as far as we know, Oglethorpe, Franklin, Oconee, their funding is just from the, well, you're gonna check on their Board of Education. but,
right,
I
the
mean,
Board of Education for, you're right, Michael?
Yeah.
The Board of Education, I can't say it. Franklin County did just recently pull out their Board of Education. Oglethorpe County does have BOE, right?
No,
Oglethorpe County does.
don't do that.
Yes. That's,
It's
I
Oconee
want
that
us
does
to, yes,
It's
Oconee.
Oconee that
I want
does
us to,
Yeah.
let me go back and get the
Right.
actual number.
Well, what I was getting at is basically those, they don't have any other contributions other than the county as far as you know of right now.
Some of them have city contributions,
okay.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
Franklin County has the city of Royston and the city of Livonia,
And Oglethorpe has Max's.
and Oglethorpe has Maxey's, and a few
And a
others.
couple, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some little,
Got a brain. They got plenty of money. Left.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and that's why I was asking about the subsidies. Was there a subsidy side of it? So there is, it just happens to be at a higher management level. I knew the state was in there somewhere, and I think that's where me and Kathy was getting confused, because we was like, wait a minute, the state funds a portion of this, what are we
Yeah.
doing? And what would be good is if you could take rural counties like Franklin County, Oglethorpe County, Madison County, and y'all's salaries needs to be in line. If
That would be
not,
great.
you're gonna get in the same position we are with EMS, and I give you a raise and they don't, next thing you know, they leave and come here, and now they ain't got anybody. So somewhere, the contribution match across these rural counties based off population or something needs to somehow have some balance.
Okay.
I think, if not, you'll create a problem. If I give you a raise and they don't give one down the street, now them people's mad. You know, or vice versa, they give one and I don't. But, well, thank you, I don't have any more questions.
Well, also in that packet, just some numbers, the CPI.
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys are all aware and know the numbers of what's happening with the CPI, and that's just what the charts are. It's just a tracking, easy, handy dandy, track of the CPI and what's going on with it. And you can see, if you look at that, middle page there, for 2021, it's just seems like out of control. CPI, they do it, twice a year, half one and half two, so I've got them split there, so we don't really have numbers for most of the half two, but I just use the numbers for September 8/22, just finish them on out through the year, and it looks like half two is just, adding another 2% to the CPI for 2021 is what it looks like it's gonna be there. So, the salary that the staff is using, is on right now, they have, they're fighting a 5%, battle with their salary's gonna be worth 5% less in the marketplace, just because of what's going on in the world. So, not having a raise since 2020, that means last year is gonna be compounded with this year, and so it makes it a little bit more, what do you call it, immediate that we go ahead and address this.
The state also provides MRR and capital funding, just FYI, in case you ever wanted to expand or build a new library. Danielsville's really big, so those things can be worked on too.
we're very proud of our library staff.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am too.
Yeah, and-
You've got an amazing staff and amazing branch manager, really.
Really.
One of the best in the region.
And thanks for educating us on what's going on.
Thank you for having us.
Kathy, did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
I'm good, thank you.
We're good. As long as she's good, we're good. Charge the money.
So we appreciate your time and
Yes.
here to review this again, so. And I got educated too. I thought just Valerie was paid by the state. I didn't know we had others in there where they were state, yeah.
We don't need to belabor this, I'm still unclear of the relationship, and I agree there's gotta be some sort of document explaining the relationship and the portion of it that we pay, and they are county employees, but they're, from a benefit standpoint, but the dollars their salary comes from dollars we pay to the regional library system, and so the check is written by the regional library system, but then their benefits are based on what we pay, but then we also have to contribute to the teacher's retirement system on their behalf. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, it just seems a little convoluted.
It's very convoluted.
It's gotta be written down somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll see that the extension office is the exact same way.
They're federal, state, they're actually University of Georgia employees, require a county match, and require the federal government also. They're, anytime we have a partnership like this, there needs to be some clear understanding to make sure we get it right, to make sure we're doing what we can do.
And if you'll notice, when we get to the extension office budget, I did not give them a raise, it says per TH, because I had the exact same question. I still, like Terry, convolutedly says, we don't write your check, you're not a county employee, but we provide insurance,
Right.
but you're not a county employee, it's bad convoluted.
I don't know that we can do that.
Well, this one I think is a little cleaner cut to me, just because
Yeah.
we're contracting for professional services
Yeah.
to a partner organization, and because of the benefits, retirements, all that stuff is carried by not us.
No, they said it's carried by us.
No,
No, they.
we pay for it,
We
but
pay
when we
for it,
write
but
the
they
check,
carry it up to
we give it to them,
Yeah, that
and
makes,
then
that
they're
makes sense.
covered
Okay.
by their organization.
Right.
So
I was
So
thinking
part
that
of
we
what we
cover.
pay them.
includes their benefits.
Okay.
That's the reason I asked was the 7666 include all that, because we're not paying, we give that to them and that covers the whole, everything.
Correct.
That makes a lot more sense.
And
Okay.
I mean, we pass the gross money,
Right.
and then they'll divvy it up to salaries, benefits, the contribution to teacher retirement, whatnot, and then when they retire, they contact teacher retirement and get their benefits, they don't come back to us.
That makes perfect sense. I answered one of the questions.
Here's another point. We're in your building down here, we're in the county building. The R&R grants, we may say, yeah, we need to do so-and-so, and we'll apply for a grant, and we'll fix your building down there. You know, we don't, run that through you guys or anything. Well, we do, if there's matching money, whatever. But, yeah, there's, it's not only convoluted in the personnel way, but, you own the building we're in.
Yeah, we have that same problem with DPH.
Yeah,
Well, the state runs a lot of stuff that,
yeah.
people say the local government runs it, but the state has a lot of influence.
Yeah,
I've learned that in my 3 years I've been on here.
when we remodeled it, it was, county, will you match this fund? And they said yes, and then we just went and redid it, And then after we got it all done, we invited them all down there to cut the ribbon.
Thank you, young man.
Yes.
Y'all welcome staying here the rest of it if you want to hear. No, this is just strictly an agenda work.
You got anything to add?
No, sir. Well, only thing is that this is the first time I've seen a board take this much concern about getting this straightened out.
Well,
And I want to thank y'all.
you're right, you're right.
Thank you.
We're here to help.
We're from the government, we're here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That and a quarter will get you a phone call.
You got it.
Y'all be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris. You ain't gotta come up, we can hear you from there. You're good.
They don't have to.
All right, so your numbers has changed. Yes. From what I have.
Stand up.
Yeah, 94.
Yep.
We're going into this 6 o'clock meeting quickly, boys. Take
It'll be all right.
Trick or treat, I guess is what I should say. It's coming up. So, before I go into it, do y'all have any questions of me before?
Christopher, this is what they have.
The different one?
This is what was laid up here for them.
I guess.
Oh, that one's.
That was your request. They
We have
have,
to change up a
they
bunch
have
of,
the,
I got the one.
consolidated.
You have the current one.
This one?
No.
This is the one I'm working off
Let me see yours versus mine. I see you got a bunch of redacted, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it's just highlighted. All right,
Well, this is a request that they cut.
of. Yeah. Remember that quarter? We're both on it.
No,
No,
we're good, we're good. Looks like you got the same one I got. Yours just,
What do we,
2, 25, 1, 1, 5, 0, 1,500, 7. You have 1,097. Oh, that's in the income. No, yes,
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right, so we're good.
I got the right one to go from?
Well, your total don't work like mine. I got 71,900, you got 73,027, so what changed? Right there. Oh, it's a group health insurance. It looks like the insurance has changed somehow. Because I'm showing you group health at 7,000, you're showing it at 8,100, so that's the difference.
It's $1,100.
Yeah. There's probably gonna be another little small sum in there.
It's 73.
What,
We can go line by line, it don't matter.
I don't care anything about that, I just wanna know why, what's changing or what's
Yeah,
going on.
tell us what's changing.
Yeah, that's what I wanna know. If you come before us, why are you coming before
Why
us?
are we coming for you? Okay.
So tell us.
Well, I tried not to make it gummy like Gase makes it for y'all, so, I'll just run
Is this
through
your
it.
original? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The one where I was trying to figure out how to
Okay.
do one for the county. So if anything's misspelled, it was in a hurry. I want to tell y'all first and foremost that I am thankful for my job with Madison County as code enforcement or director, whatever y'all want to call me, in the position that I am. And that I look forward to assisting the county in its needs as well as better myself in the process. My goal today is to argue for two things, and the second one will come last. But it's for the second code enforcement officer will be the second thing I ask for. But the first one is larger pay increase while trying to remain humble in the process. I requested a $7 pay increase, and I'm did receive a $3 pay increase, or recommended pay increase. But I want to tell y'all what's changed that I believe you should know about. In the past months, I've brought several of the county's 3- and 2-year-long cases to a close. I've closed up to date all but one pre-existing cases for code enforcement, building inspection, and planning and zoning. I just wrote down dozens because it just changed this past week, but I've won every case. We have not lost a case as a county in 7 months. We brought nothing but revenue in with no lost time, which was not the case 7 months ago. We have an outstanding record for citizens willing to comply, to come into compliance without the need of county invested dollars now. For every 50 cases, I have between 24 and 30 that I'm able to bring into compliance willingly now. I don't want to make it seem like it's me, but we're just able to reach them in a different way now. And for all these reasons, I believe that warrants the $3 proposed pay raise in the budget. However, there are several more aspects that show my values further for a higher increase for y'all to consider. Those aspects being, first, my level of scholastic education in connection with my wealth of experience that I bring to the table from working at the state and federal levels from the regulatory enforcement side of government. Secondly, the additional responsibilities that, I don't want to say were pushed on me, but I willingly took, of overseeing various issues with planning and zoning, building inspection and permitting, from handling all the agriculture plans now in the county for building and permitting and planning and zoning. Those all run through me now, just not the setbacks. I'm going out and I'm doing several building inspections, trying to help Eddie out while we're in this building craze, whether it be a foot or a T-post. I try to make it work with my day to lessen the load on other departments to increase their productivity. Atop that, for a third aspect, I brought in the past 7 months, I have completed GBI full security to where I now have, I'm in the top 4 people of the county for GBI clearance. I'm level 1B with the Georgia Water and Soil Conservation Commission. There's only one level above that, and that's an instructor. I now outrank everybody in the county as far as waters of the state and being able to control the erosion management plans and how they affect waters of the state, which has come into a big part now. I took it upon myself to have...
Let me ask you a question. I think been some time ago, but we lost that ability to approve soil erosion plans in the county.
Mhm.
Do we have that back now?
Only the city of Isla But because of my level of certification, when I approve or a question is raised, the EPD goes by what I say. And so it keeps the federal government out from our county, in an essence, because they trust me in my judgment.
So can your qualifications, can we regain that status of being able to make those approvals here?
Yeah, the Board of Commissioners can vote to bring that in if they wish to be a issuing
What's the
authority.
EPD? I'm sure
You
that
ain't
the
gotta have
EP.
that, you ain't gotta have that one to be a LIA.
I'm already above. Red with the yellow.
He's a red card.
You said 1B though, right?
1B operating. If I can operate on my own, I'm the instructor level otherwise.
So you got 2 certificates?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
We only
that,
use
I heard
one
1B and I was
yeah.
like, I had to look at mine, mine's
Yeah.
level 2 before as a designer.
Yeah.
So I got, I was like,
It's not
There's
radar
some-
inspector.
I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
missed it, something. I missed
No,
it.
no.
Well, they
Start
should be-
flashing cards like
should
over
be
here,
in class.
people do coins in here.
They should be in class.
But and there's some sort of recertification has to be gone back through before the EPD will turn that back over to us.
It's a three-piece of paper that I have in my office. It's just, I'm on it. I just, I don't have enough hands or hours in a day, in all honesty. But yes, we now have the ability to take that back under us if the committee wishes to do so. But there's even more. I'm the first person, even before Jack Huff, I went to all 3 courts and to the district court and was sworn in. So it doesn't matter what level it is. Me and Mike actually talked about this. I can take it from mag to probate to superior. Because my background and the judges knowing me, they all agreed to make me officers of the court, as well to serve Madison County's behalf. And nobody ever went out to do it. They just let the county spend money on lawyers, or if it went out to magistrate, they just, you know what words are when. So we've done that one, and this is all within 7 months. And I've also completed the first 4 modules of being a state recommended GACE officer. That's the Georgia Association of Code Enforcement. The funny thing is, while I was taking the course, I actually taught 2 of my own courses and had to test myself. I was asked to be an instructor for the base level, right off the bat.
How'd you do with this?
Apparently, I listened really good to myself. And scored winners with smiley faces. I got along well with the instructor. But lastly, there's several more. I'm also in training for the county right now as an FAA licensed drone pilot outside of the Sheriff's Department that will benefit the Board of Commissioners, just not the Sheriff's Department, so that we're not relying upon one drone at one time. For any needs, once this certification goes out for government clearance, we can go in and have eyes in the sky. So we're doing that as well. And another thing, compared to other code enforcement officers throughout the state of Georgia, I prosecute for the county, and I enjoy doing so. It requires me to assume an entirely different level of responsibility in doing so. And like I said earlier, I haven't lost a case. Other counties throughout the state of Georgia with similar population sizes, general population income, pay their code enforcement officers between $52,000 and $72,000 a year based off of a 2-year-old data from 2019 to 2020. My request would bring my pay to the lowest figure from 2 years ago by asking for the $25 an hour, $7 raise, which I don't believe is unreasonable by an employee in my position. And let me assure y'all, I've met the other code enforcement officers at Gates, and they are not putting in the same effort y'all are getting here in Madison County. And I'd just like to say, Shirley, I'm not a subpar employee who ranks below the minimum state average. In conclusion, I think my worth is greater than the value assigned me, and I'm sure y'all hear that a lot. And I personally feel if I didn't make this statement, I'd be cutting myself short. And
I appreciate that. One thing that's not showing your work here, the change in revenue coming into your office. Very
Yes,
sad.
Currently, it was all rolled in, I remember right, with magistrate, and then that goes into the general fund.
I mean, I'm not worried about where it is. Tell me the difference. What increase coming in as a result of your work at code enforcement is how much?
From the rough numbers, because I didn't get the first half of this year when I came in, but from last year it was roughly $2,000, if I remember right. It was somewhere in that.
Oh, you're talking about what the old code enforcement brought in for the
I know we
year?
had talked about it, but I hadn't.
Yeah, it's
seen
around
it.
$2,000 per
Around
year.
2,000. I average $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
Okay.
But versus bringing that money in, I try to get compliance.
Sure.
But before
That's the goal.
we have to take it to it,
Yeah.
because that's money from, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but that's wasting the court's time, that's wasting
No,
the
no,
county's
you're
time.
right.
and
The
the
goal
resources.
is to bring everything to
goal.
compliance. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
So
Yeah,
I
this
use
was
that
not
as a
money.
last resort.
But
Before they're in court, I've worked with them 1 to 2 months.
So
And-
on the budget side, let's go down the list here, because we changed multiple things.
And I don't have any trouble with that, and if, in order to, help increase my hourly wage, you can take the overtime and put it into my regular wages, cause I'm not gonna,
The salary, you're not doing overtime.
yeah.
that's right.
I mean, I feel like I'd just be trying to get that money from the county, and I prefer not to have to try and be backhanded.
Well, you've done a pretty good job about flexing it out anyway.
Yes,
So that's the reason I reduced it from 4, is because you normally flex it out, which is great. And then coming on down is I knew you had so much classes this year that there's not gonna be as many next year as you had, and that's why I reduced it there. And that for travel, food, and lodging, the same thing.
yeah, and me and you had went all the way across it, and I didn't have any trouble at all, gentlemen. I just wanted to try and show my worth with the pay, and
So
then.
that one line item is the one that
Well,
you're not necessarily concerned with, but you would like for us to be concerned with.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the line items, you're good.
Yes, sir. With the one exception, I'm trying to Andy Griffith this, is the best way I can say it right now. He never wore a gun, and I'm not wearing one at this point. I have went through the process of talking with the post certification. They're willing to pay for it, since I'm a county employee at no cost, but it's 10 weeks of downtime. And right now, the second point of trying just to get somebody on is to cover what we have now. I'd love to go get post certified for my own safety, but most folks don't want to mess with 6'3", 230 country boy, in a tire iron if need be. But we just don't have the time, in all honesty, to take that step at this point. And I'm not worried about it right now. I go out with body armor and a smile, and most of the time I'm able to take care of business. But the other one was the ammo and firearms in today's market. I didn't know if that 1,500 would allow it when we get to that point in time, trying to go through that process.
I'd rather amend it in the end and put it there and not use it.
But that's the only one I wanted to make note of. You know, it may change, and Block may kick it up a gear and send another 250,000 firearms, and the price drops back down.
As of noon today,
Yeah.
as of noon today, the news is that there's gonna be a 43% increase on oil across the board. Heating, natural gas, and everything.
Yeah.
43%. I'd hate to be a chicken farmer right now.
No joke on that, yeah.
I'm sorry, that's what they're
But,
forecasting.
but I do have numbers, to show across the board, from the state reviews with community fair, and then the code enforcement enrollment sheet. My current pay is below the state minimum for code enforcement across the state.
And you don't have to blab it out here, but
Yes,
I'd just like to know what it is, if somebody would.
35,000, what the state minimum is right now?
I know
Current
what,
hourly.
yeah, I know what you said a while ago. Where's it at?
I'm at 18, yes, sir, I'm at 18. I'm at 18, and the state minimum, wage level for code enforcement statewide, that's going from the highest paid county to the lowest, is $35,641, with the state max average being $70,985, with the state high of $102,000. And I instructed the state high because he was taking the basic level construction class.
Some people just got no money else.
Oh, yeah, yeah, but now, I mean, across the board, the city of Royston beats me by $8 grand, and that's 2.1 square miles.
Wow.
And they pay him $8,000 more than they do me, and I instructed him also in the class. So I have those examples. I'm more than willing to share out, and by no means, please don't think that I'm trying to change the county. I just want to bring information to light.
Sure. Good.
I appreciate it as always.
You have done a very good job.
Thank you, sir.
Take it under consideration.
The other thing I would like to bring to consideration is, another full-time code enforcement building inspector jointly. Doing both, I have a gentleman that's willing to jump on it for $15 an hour, who has experience.
Let's talk about that tomorrow,
Right.
because we're gonna, I'd already worked on that this weekend in my head, I guess you could say, and I talked to Eddie Friday, leaving the parking lot. We're gonna be to the point where we're not gonna have a choice. And if you'll, tonight's meeting, you're gonna see the numbers and the permitting numbers.
Yes, sir.
But I planned on presenting that, or actually getting with Kathy today, just happened not to. No, that's perfect information, I'm glad you found something. But well, let's talk about it in the morning, because
Yes,
I wanna
sir.
hear more about it and see how we can get this worked out. But
Yes, sir.
You can share that with us. Then at this
Sure,
point.
sure.
And I got a layout plan as well for down there as well, I can submit after all this.
What?
Everything is,
Oh, yeah.
as well, because all my recommendations I've talked to the entire department in the past 3 weeks I've been on.
Yeah, what he's referring to is gonna come into play as far as, and Kathy can get you the numbers. Our contract fee for, building inspections is astronomical. It's $85 an inspection, almost guaranteed 15 a day with no backup plan. Because, you know, used to, we had 2 building inspectors, but we have 1, so if Eddie takes a day off, we potentially lose. If he's out 2 days, or if he takes a week off, I mean, we're 15,000, well, she's got the numbers right there, we're probably 15,000 into just contract services as it is. With still no backup plan.
And that's with me
Yeah.
running on all footings and electrical.
You're doing,
That's right.
okay, is that what you're doing all the footings and the looking?
When Eddie's
Well,
out.
When Eddie's out?
When Eddie's out, and then I help them to get overloaded as well, and then oversee all the existing permits as well, so that they're filled out, because he doesn't have time.
In 2020, it was $23,352 for
In contract services,
employee.
so and that was realistically, probably 11 days worth of work. Well, I'm sorry, that's 20 days worth of work,
$85 a drop.
but on average 10 a day, or more.
Well, 85 a drop, and then he gets 200 if he's at one location for an hour or more.
And mileage.
And mileage, thank you, I forgot.
Yeah, and
And then, I guess just
15, not much.
from my, so the person that you're recommending, I mean, they definitely have the background and the,
They could do food and electrical day one, I'm
Yes.
not sure if all their
But
certifications are current.
the other way,
It's coming from
but
20
they could
days.
get them, they could get them permitted.
I'm just trying to get
I
the
had a
total number.
conversation today with him,
So,
it would take 30-minute lunch today.
$15
And,
an hour,
That's
I
without
actually
benefits.
spent the whole
so
time.
if it's 20, if the benefit's $5 an hour.
He'd be a benefit both sides to help alleviate that. And then when Mr. Eddie goes towards retirement, somebody that.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together,
40,000.
And,
Kathy, does your form show you how many days that was for?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna put together a package, y'all can see it, but I think we need to really look at it, because
Sounds like
20 days, that kind of money versus having somebody here for a full year for right at the same money, a little bit more, but a whole lot more hours in-house.
And that's with me coming in and doing most of the court for Eddie as well, so he can get back out on the field on court days.
You may come back before us.
Does our
before
fee
it's
structure cover the expenses that we?
Okay, from building inspection or the code side or permitting, because that's an egg with multiple yolks. Damn, poultry farmer did. All right. You can't make them laugh, they won't give you money. All right. Which end would you like to know about first?
Well, I guess you talk about the inspections and stuff like that. I mean, somebody's obviously building something, you know, they're budgeted, you know, to do something.
We're 6 years behind on inspection, as far as looking at rescheduling our fines, or not fines, but fees for permits. We're about 6 years behind everybody else. And I hope it's okay, I took it on myself to make sure everything, I don't mean to speak.
No, you're fine, son.
I went ahead and tried to look at the whole picture because I enforced the whole picture. From Lamar to the clerk's office, to probate, to magistrate, everything but Superior. I've tried to make time to take a look at, and that is some management of time skills right there. We're at least 6 years behind on our permitting side. On our fee structure, on the building side alone, I'd say we're 10 years behind. One of the first things I did when I came in was update Madison County's code enforcement fee schedule, and I don't have the ability to enforce that. I handed it off to Judge Patton after several of us had talked about it, and we use it as a level of recommendation, since I can't tell the judge what to charge somebody in his own court, but I can make some strong recommendations, believe you me. So I feel like we brought up code enforcement today, and that was a huge revenue changer, to say the least, for when somebody does go outside of those barriers. But building inspection, when to get a demolition permit, and you don't have to necessarily show us that you demolished it to code, $30. But we're spending 4 or 5 days trying to make sure we're demolishing it correctly and just doing drive-bys, whether it be Eddie or me working in the 2-hour route that's taken away from other things. For what we charge a permit, we can't fill a truck up with gas, even before this.
Yeah.
So it's something that we need to take into consideration, sir. I don't want to charge everybody an arm and a leg for building a house, but making sure they're doing it to spec and code, we've got to cover our own rear end. I can say that redacted. I don't like that.
I mean, it's a balance. I mean, you know, you don't want to, I mean, I'm not saying it should be profit generating, but as a taxpayer, if you're, I won't say not building something today, you know, you're subsidizing your neighbor or your family member building something when, you know, and I'm just, you're not saying it should be a profit generating thing, but there should be some equity in.
It should cover the cost of the inspection.
Yeah.
Well, when we're charging a flat permit for commercial, 300, I think, when it all comes out. But somebody building a 1,850 square foot heated space home is spending 600. So you can come and build a Walmart and permit it for cheaper than a man can build a house or a woman. I'm sorry. But y'all see what I'm talking about? We've got a little catching up to do.
Yeah. Sure. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We may see you again before it's over with, but we're gonna work tomorrow or the next day or two, trying to compile information and get it out there to you as fast as possible.
I don't answer when you call the office. I swear I'll call you when I get back.
You've done a good job of that.
This concludes,
Whenever you get to the ground, we'll see all that inspection.
yeah. We'll show you what it is and where we would like to go.
Yeah. Yeah, can I say one thing? That's one, meetings like this is one reason I think I sent out an email talking about how I'd like to see all the folks come and talk to us and the departments and the elected officials. This is one of the reasons, because I think it just enlightens us for a lot of things, and we get to ask questions of very intelligent people who get to help us.
Right. He's talking to you.
No.
I'm just gonna leave.
So, we don't need a motion to close the work session, 5:58. I would say that the work session agenda is adjourned for tonight. And we got 2 minutes until the next meeting starts.
There we go.
Christopher, thank you. You don't have to hang out unless you just want.